There is something really compelling about an animal that dangles a glowing light in front of its face to lure prey. It's almost like a cosmic joke. And yet, this creature is very real. It's called an anglerfish, and it lives in the darkest depths of our oceans. This is a fish with many names. Scientists refer to it as which includes around 300 species ranging from the ghastly to the bizarre. But you may have heard of one species in particular, the melanocetus. You see, despite their sometimes monstrous appearance, anglerfish begin life as regular-looking eggs, and just like other fish, they hatch into tiny larvae that float around in the water column. The males probably do. You wouldn't live that long since they pretty much useless after they fuse to the females. And yes, we're aware that we're being fish don't really think of themselves as useless, but you get the point. If humans ever tried to venture down there, we'd probably die. And if you liked this video, maybe watch another one. But that doesn't mean that anglerfish are safe. As it is, deep-sea trawling nets often scoop up unwanted fish like and climate change is causing the ocean to warm and it's possible that these changes could affect the fish's habitat in the abyssopelagic zone. At the moment, though, anglerfish aren't considered endangered, but they may become more vulnerable as the world gets warmer. And to be honest, we don't have enough data to really say anything for sure. After all, the midnight zone is a pretty dark and lonely place. The difference is that the larvae don't descend into the abyss. They're predators, which means they hunt other animals. And yes, they do use that glowing lure to attract prey. But how does the lure work? Well, the lure is actually a modified dorsal fin spine. And yes, it's bioluminescent, which means it glows. The reason it glows is because it's home to bioluminescent bacteria. These bacteria need the lure to protect them from being eaten by other fish, and in exchange, they make the lure glow. That way, the anglerfish can attract prey without having to expend any energy. The fish sees the light and thinks, hey, maybe there's some tasty plankton over there, and swims right into the anglerfish's open mouth. And yes, the anglerfish has a massive mouth that it can use to swallow prey larger than itself. In fact, the fish's stomach is expandable, allowing it to gulp down prey more than twice as large as it is. Instead, they spend a few weeks growing in the mesopelagic zone, also known as the twilight zone. Once they're big enough, they dive into the hado zone, also known as the abyssopelagic zone, where they spend the rest of their lives. That's the one with the long, droopy lure that dangles in front of its mouth like a fishing rod. Now, anglerfish are found in both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. They live at depths of 300 to 3,000 meters, which is around 980 to 10,000 feet. That puts them squarely in the bathypelagic zone, also known as the twilight zone or the midnight zone. And I mean really different. When anglerfish reach sexual maturity, the males are only a few centimeters long, and the females can be more than 40 centimeters long. And here's the kicker. The males actually fuse themselves to the females as parasites. Now, we're not talking about mating here. We're talking about the male anglerfish literally becoming part of the female. You might think that this would hurt, but given that the males are so small, it's likely that they don't even notice the parasitic males. In fact, the males probably benefit from being stuck to a female. Since they get to mooch food off of her, it's like having your own personal food-giving bodyguard. Females give birth to live young, but before that, they have to find a nice shady spot to lay their eggs. The eggs come out of the female in a gelatinous mass, and then the male fertilizes them externally. As far as we know, all anglerfish species exhibit this type of reproduction. It has a place where no sunlight can penetrate, and where a single square meter can hold more than 500,000 fish. For the most part, anglerfish are solitary creatures, but they're not loners. Anglerfish go through what scientists call extreme sexual dimorphism, meaning the males and females look very different from each other. Now, we don't know exactly how long anglerfish live, but we estimate that the females live somewhere between 10 and 20 years. Okay, let's talk about what anglerfish actually do down there in the abyss. Now, we haven't really done a great job of protecting the deep sea, and that's probably for the best. So thanks for watching.